gonna be fire. I know it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. Y'all know.
Doors of the Love Church are now open. Dear world, you name it, we cover it from the world of singles to the behind the scenes of the greatest movie ever filmed, called Marriage. We dig into everything from dating 101. Why won't they commit? It's complicated. I can't do it if it's the three of us. They're a good person, but I'm not attracted to them in that way. 2, they really didn't disclose who they were before I said I do. How do I do this if they can't keep a job? The bills are paid, but the bedroom is suffering. Did I marry you or did I marry your family because we only can take care of us? Let's open up our marriage. Why do I have to buy into your beard gang illusion? You could have told me you were down low and we could have remained friends and not married. And last but not least, did you marry me or your pastor? Have we gotten your attention yet? If so, tune in to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio, Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, if you want to hear more of today's real issues in the world of love. The doors of the Love Church are now open.
All right. Hello, and greetings, everyone. Welcome to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. I'm your host, Charles Dixon, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Adam Ford. How are you, sir?
What's up, fam? Doing okay, man. Doing all right this week. It's been a decent week. You know, caught a little bit of a, I don't know if it's allergies or just the changing of the season. You know, but you get a little sore throat, a little whatever like that. I'm like,
Yes.
So if I sound a little raspy, everybody know what's going on.
We all know what's going on.
Right.
Yes. No, everything is good. I mean, as usual. As the world turns, seems like each week to week, it's always something. Hey, really quick, before we get into the show, I'll give a quick, very, very, very quick update on last week's rant about my barber. So really quick, I saw him again today. And so when I saw him, totally different vibe, right? Like I went in there and he was like, come on, we go to the little wash bowl or whatever. And so typically that's when he starts going in about whatever's happening. So I got over there, he was quiet. And I said, hey, everything cool with you? You good? I said, everything is level from last week. And he says, well, me and her had a talk we had a really deep talk last night. So I said, so hopefully you got some things worked out. And he said, somewhat. And I said, okay. So the conversation carried on over till we got back to the chair. And it's something when it comes down to conflict, it's so imperative to have the details, right? Because there's conflict going on. If you don't have all the details, some things can seem a little fishy or not so clear. So One thing he said today, which was very clear, which I didn't know last week, was he said, so I was trying to get out of him what came out of that rebuttal between him and her, that discussion that they had. And he says, yeah, she want to get married. And so I said, well, Negro, you left that out of the equation.
Right. He didn't mention that
That's
part.
very key. And he says, what do you mean? I said, because you kind of gave the impression somebody lit a match in your house for no reason. And it was just burning, right? When really what she's probably trying to tell you is, okay, what's happening? You got me stalled, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know what's going on. So my anxiety is up. Then he flipped the script a little bit and said, yeah, but the thing is, so her point was the marriage. His point was initiative. He doesn't feel like she takes enough initiative in his eyes to be the type of person, I guess, that he wants to marry. And what he was saying is, I love her and I do want to marry her. But he says, but I look at her when I come home, the same stuff is the same way when I left. He'll say something like, are you going to start looking for these jobs, or are you going to take this program or get into these classes? And he said, when he gets home, she on a laptop, on social media, she on her phone with her girlfriends. And in his mind, it's like he's feeling like he got to make a decision. Like he love her, but he doesn't see what he feels he needs to see to take it to the next step, right? And so I told him, I said, well, y'all need to keep this talking going because she has her point, you have your point, but I said I'd be willing to bet you have not conveyed it that way to her to let her know how you see the situation. And I said, now you got to remember, if you've been with her for 5 years, which I didn't know that last week, right? Been with her for 5 years. I understand the argument. I understand when people get angst to feel like, you know, they're giving you a lot of time or a lot of service or whatever the case. And they feel like what's happening with my goods, not necessarily the goods, but my goods overall that I'm giving.
Yeah, my goods, those goods.
Yeah, my goods too. Anyway, so yeah, so all of that. So that was interesting. So this seemed like this is gonna be a weekly episode with him. So I'll keep
not a weekly episode
as the drama comes in. Yeah, the Barbershop Chronicles. Yeah.
But you know what? Whenever we're trying to relay information, particularly when it comes to our own personal life, you know how we have a way of self-editing certain bits of ourselves, so we look more either like the victim or you know, or like the hero. It's very rare that you'll find somebody who's willing to tell the
real truth,
unvarnished truth for what it is, even if it incriminates themselves.
Because I promise you, each week I listen to him because his demeanor is cool, funny, likable guy. When I'm listening to him, I'm always compassionate to what I hear him saying. I'm thinking, Dad, what kind of woman is this at home? She's giving you all this hell, you know, I'm thinking all these things. When there is another side to it. I wanted to tell him, can you just ask your girlfriend to come to the barbershop next week? Have her be there during the appointment. I want to get the whole story from her and you, because you giving me one side of it. But anyway, so yeah, no, that was interesting today.
That is
funny. But anyway, yeah, I mean, in terms of I guess in real life events and things like that, stuff is continuing to go on with all of the, you know, I mean, all of the chronicles of whether it's Diddy, gossip, more foolishness, this over here, the elections. It is what it is, right? We just, at this point, we all just surviving to live another day.
Right.
Now, Adam, before we go and get started into today's show, I'm going to give you the opportunity at this time to recluse yourself from the show if you feel, you know, this may, you know, cause some indirect blows, batters, and wounds. You know, I understand the topic, the sensitivity. No, I'm kidding. But no, this is a good show.
So you didn't want to do that before you posted it online and before I shared it and before I liked it. Oh, but now while we on the air, now you want to
now I'm gonna see if you're okay with it. Now the show's on.
Dude, but anyway, full of it, bro.
No, but see, this is the thing I want people to get from the post. I know that from the post, immediately you say, oh yeah, happy wife, happy life. So you come up with your own idea, whether it's positive or negative. But my only purpose for bringing this up, as in any other topic I share, is to just kind of circulate some thoughts, different thoughts and different perspectives. Because I think a lot of times we jump on bandwagons of things that may not necessarily work for your house. Like, you know, what may work for somebody else's house or somebody's house historically or across the street or whoever, it may not, that chemistry may not work that well in your house. So you have to learn to make sure both people, from my perspective, both people should have access to the thermostat. You know how you go into these places and you'll see the thermostat and it'll have a casing over it.
Okay.
And it's a key to open it.
Right.
That means somebody is saying, you're not regulating this unless I come and turn it.
Right.
And that's the concept I think historically we have allowed to be adopted in our marriage stratosphere. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. No. So you want me to go ahead and read this?
So you go ahead on and read, yes. That's right.
They're about to set your
Maria, where's Maria? Hey, Maria, as you listen to all the words.
Don't talk her up because you know she will show up when you least expect it. That's
this is all the
saying.
words and everything that he's going to say. It's just in everything. Now I'm just kidding. Come on.
Lord have mercy. Let me read this. Okay. All right. Could it be that the institution of marriage has been dealt a historic blow with having implementation of the concept happy wife, happy life? This notion empowers the thought of one partner in the marriage holding the keys to the thermostat of the home. While some might say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Have we considered that many husbands and partners who have subscribed to the notion of happy wife, happy life are not happy themselves? Yes, they have committed to take the high road and most things concerning the relationship, but is he truly fulfilled by only making sure she's happy, or is he masking the empty areas that need the attentiveness of his wife and partner? Wife, happy life was a concept created many years ago during the era of when women were housewives and the husbands was the sole breadwinner. Today's evolution has kicked down the doors where women are now dominating the workforce and are also bringing home the bacon to the table. So is it fair to say that the notion happy spouse, happy house should be the new order of business in marriages and commitments?
Yes. Oh man, that's good. So
you talked her up. You see what you did? You see what you did? You're looking at now. You see what you did, bro? Now we both in trouble. Thanks.
Oh God. Okay, so listen. All right, so I'm going to piggyback on what you read, and so I'll go to kind of the quick research. And so basically, it says the origin of the phrase "happy wife, happy life." Now, listen to this: is unclear, but it may have first appeared in 1903 in a rhyme by the political group, the Work and Wages Party. Another theory is that it was used in a real estate ad in Abilene, Texas in 1958. The phrase is based on the idea that a happy wife leads to a happier life for everyone in the family, including the husband. It reflects the outdated gender norm that the woman rules the home and the husband brings the money. Some say that phrase is more accurately stated as happy spouse, happy house, because people experience ups and downs in their romantic relationship. Lastly, a study from Rutgers University found that a happy wife in a long-term marriage makes her husband happier regardless of how he feels about the marriage. The study suggests that when a wife is satisfied with the marriage, she does more for her husband, which positively affects his life. All right. Okay, so look at you, Thomas. All right, here's the thing. Okay, I guess I'll throw the first snowball.
I mean, you out there, bro. And here's the thing that I don't want you to forget.
Those snowballs, Bruce. All right, so here we go. I do believe with wholeheartedly, there's no purpose of taking on a wife, taking on a family, taking on a marriage, if you don't have the intentions to serve your spouse. Okay. And when I say serve your spouse, focus your attention in the direction of doing the things that are pleasing to her and to the overall unit, right? Yeah. Now, it's not to say, I often say, in an ideal marriage, I used to say to myself, I want to get lost in my wife, but I don't want to lose me in the process, right? And the reason why I say I don't want to lose me is because I look at it like this. It's not good from my perspective. It's not good for a man that's supposed to lead to get lost. If he's lost, he's not able to be coherent, to have the guidance first. He can love and be all things, but he shouldn't get lost, right? I think a lot of times we find ourselves getting lost while we're calling it love, but it's kind of chaotic because there's no control to it.
Okay.
It's just kind of all over the place, or it's just kind of, so let's most men would probably concur. If we're leading correctly and results are shown, it would feel like you're being loved correctly because the woman is seeing the victories, right? The problem sometimes comes for men is when we make decisions that sometimes bring about the losses. And that's where you know what kind of spouse or woman that you have when it's time for the losses, right? When the losses come, now you know what you're dealing with. It's like, you know what? I told you, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to pay that whole bill. Don't worry about it. You understand what I'm saying? It becomes, now the guy's like, well, I just said I made a mistake. That's okay. You know, we got to live in here. We don't have time for, you know, all the barking that goes with it. And it's like, So my point is, we have to find a way that we can coexist respectably. I want to make you as happy as ever, but I don't want to suffer happiness in the process, though, right? What good does that do? Like, what good does it honestly do? If like, why even get married if you're just to be an action figure, right? But you don't ever get to relax. You get to stay in just actor mode 24/7. You don't get to enjoy the fruits of the union. Like when I envision jumping the broom, I'm not saying, I know life isn't perfect and life will continue to life. Right. But you at least want to say, you know what? This was the best decision I made. And these are the reasons why. You don't want to go into it and feel like, yeah, I made this decision, but I mean, I guess she all right, because I mean, things is okay. You know, as long as she good. And if you keep making a practice of that, and I'll get into that other part later, but we have years and years of evidence of what I believe. It's just, again, these are just my opinions. I believe men learn how to anticipate the needs of their wives. Over time, it becomes routine. You know, she wants her coffee in the morning. You know, she wants the Dr. Pepper at lunchtime. You know, she wants what, you know, it becomes a regimen. So you become basically the professional love butler. You know the things that she needs, she likes. You know that she wants you to do these certain things to keep her psychologically leveled. So you become great at it. But what that side of the story doesn't tell you is it still doesn't tell you how he feels in the process. Okay. And I'll go from there.
Boy, you are okay. Lord help me today. Help me, Jesus. I swear, man. Okay, yeah. So I agree with most of what you just said. But I do take issue with some things. Now, and the reason why I say that, Charles, is because and
I'm just on the outside talking. I'm not married yet, Adam.
Okay, so here's I didn't want to put you on blast, but you know, so you're not married, haven't been married. So
I'm just giving optics from the outside.
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to give it from the inside. Having been this being my second marriage, okay, and having been married twice. So I'll offer my perspective in terms of what this actually should be. Okay. So in terms of being married, being in a committed relationship with someone, married to a woman, married to a wife. It's always been my ideal, not saying that it's always reality, but my ideal that we are both a part of this process. Nobody is the sole thermostat, if you will, of the entire household. Because I believe that as a married couple, we both are the thermostat. And the reality is we both have access to those thermostat controls in terms of what we do, how we treat each other, how we see each other, how we respect each other, how we talk to each other, how we listen to each other. These are the thermostat controls that allow us to gauge the temperature of the relationship and even the temperature of the household as a whole. So we're both the thermostat. It's not just one. At least within my experience.
Okay. All right.
I can't speak for anybody else's marriage or relationship, but I can only speak for mine. And again, I'm speaking of ideals in terms of having a relationship, ladies and gentlemen, that is equitable on both sides.
Okay.
That we both have a mutual investment when it comes to being happy within our relationship, being happy within our marriage. Now, you hit it right on the nose when you said that the husband ought to learn what makes his wife happy. The husband ought to understand what brings his wife joy. The husband ought to realize the things that bring enjoyment to his wife. But the same is also true for the wife, that the wife also ought to be a student of her husband and learning what makes him happy and learning what satisfies him and learning what gives him joy. So the reality is, as husband and as wives, we are both learning one another in an effort to bring satisfaction and pleasure and enjoyment to each other. Not only that, but as we learn one another, we learn how to support each other. We learn how to encourage each other. We learn how to communicate with each other, even in a more effective way. We learn how to listen to one another.
Yeah.
These are the things that determine the temperature of the relationship in our marriage. Yeah. These are the things that control the atmosphere of our marriage. If we're not participating in this thing, and if at some point in time we disengage, then yeah, that thermostat is going to go crazy.
Wow.
It's going to be too hot or it's going to be too cold. There is going to be a balance in between the two. And so it's important that as married people that we are engaged in our marriage. You know what I'm saying? And that we are constantly adjusting the thermostat of our partner to make sure that they are where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because it can't just be one person receiving all the benefit. If that was the case, again, why should we get married?
Wow.
Why did I get married if it was going to be all about what Maria wanted? And why would Maria get married to me if it was all about what I? Come on.
Yeah.
That's an imbalance, and it's a very antiquated, it's a very archaic, it's a very imbalanced view of what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be mutual partners in this thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of see it. You know, because it ain't just about her making me happy, and it ain't just about me making her. It's about both of us making the whole household happy.
So this is what I honestly, this is, and I'm being wholeheartedly serious when I say this.
Okay.
And I'm calling on the women to respond to this. And what I wanted to know is, when I think about it, the happy wife, happy life concept, while we may not be able to pin down exactly when it started, where it came from, nonetheless, it has been fully embraced. And so what I would want to know from women, and this is just legitimately sincere, do you, because I said to myself, perhaps we as men are potentially missing what women feel we should be getting in order to receive them that way. Okay. Like, this is what so perfect example. Is it because you may be bore the person's children? Is it because I take care of the house, if that's the kind of wife you are, right? If that's the kind of wife you are. Okay, so you take care of the house, because nowadays they both are working, right? But if you're home, then maybe you're saying, look, I do this, I take care of these children, don't everything around here run smooth. That's why I should be revered in such a way. So what I'm asking is, please enlighten us men on some of the things and some of the reasons, it could be one or two, that you feel we are missing it. Like we are missing that concept, and why I guess you feel, why do you guys take issue with the fact that we think it's a happy wife, happy life? That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm just trying to understand if it's, because I keep saying to myself, maybe we're missing it, Adam. Maybe it is something going over our heads that we should be seeing or focusing on. And I'm going to be real when I say this.
Okay.
Although we are enjoying talking about this, this is a really serious topic, because for years on end, I have seen, heard, witnessed, well, maybe even participated from the opposite side of the spoon. But
okay.
This is what I mean. If there is a happy wife, happy life, and if that woman is really, really happy, or she feels that she's happy, and that husband, to everybody on the outside, looks like he's doing his job, right?
Okay.
He looks, to all intents and purposes, he's a good husband. He bring the money home. He's doing all these things.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna tell you one of the things that I take issue with.
Okay.
You can't have it both ways. You want to have happy wife, happy life. Then, when the husband is being good, in all intents and purposes, he's being compliant, right? But this is what I've heard in the atmosphere.
Okay.
You got a good husband. Oh my God, he's such a good husband. Yeah, girl, he is. But do you ever think he's doing anything? I mean, he's just too smooth. And you know what the common thing is?
Right.
Well, you know what? As long as he don't bring nothing to my doorstep, he can do whatever he want to do. You can't have it both ways. See, it's like because to me, that's saying you're okay with him doing him as long as you don't find out about it. And I'm saying this to say there are tons of men, I know it to be so, that I even know them, right? They know how to perfect the house.
Got it.
But because they have perfected being actors, they live their truth in the street.
Wow.
So they live with you, they act with you, but because they feel you don't honor their happiness or their existence or their visibility doesn't matter as long as you're making sure I'm comfortable, he's often saying to himself, you're right, I'm your husband, and I do want you to be comfortable, but it's a trip that you don't think I want to be comfortable. So I'm going to make you comfortable, but I'll be back. Wow. So that's the concept. And this, if people got to be honest, this has been going on for years, even back in our grandpa days, where we found out. I'm going to tell them, okay, this is my own family business. Okay.
Oh, here we go, y'all.
My own family business. Years ago,
Bruce,
maybe probably back in 2011, 12, I went to a family reunion down in South Boston, Virginia. And I'm down there seeing all my cousins. We just enjoying and all of this. Now, from my perspective, we had the best extended family. Like I had so many aunts and uncles on my mother's side. Whenever we went to the country, hey, Bruce, whenever we went to the country, everything was just everything. So it made it seem like my grandma and grandpa, everything looked like a unit, like it was good. Now, my grandfather had passed and went on, and later so did my grandmother. At that one particular family reunion, my cousins got to talking. One of them was drinking and talking too much, right? So he's talking, and he said, you know, we got another brother. This is my uncle saying this. And I'm like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? These are all the brothers and uncles and aunts that I know of. He said, no, we got another uncle. He's somewhere because Pa Dixon, he said Pa Haynes had this lady that was fine back in the day in town that he was messing with. She was younger, but he was messing with her. But he not whole family side well. So it looked like, well, how could he have done all that? Because he spent a lot of time over here. But let me tell you what we did. They should have never lit the match and told me about it. So we at the table talking. We down there in South Boston at that picnic table. I said, where the lady live? And they said, she still live in town. We found that. We got on Google. We found that lady's information. We went to the house. We knocked on the door and we was like, hey, and the lady was like, hey. So my cousin, my uncle that's from that part of town, he was like, I'm so-and-so, and this is my cousins, my nephews. We don't mean to barge. He said, but we here because we just have some questions. And she said, well, how can I help you? She said, he said one thing, it's about Pop Haynes. And she just kind of froze.
Wow.
And she said, you can come on in. She let us come in. Three of us sat there and we was like, don't be afraid. We just here. We just want some answers. We ain't coming in no trouble. So
right.
she kind of paused before she responded. And she says, yeah. She said, James, that's his name. James was hurt for years. And I said, why is that? She said, because your grandfather did not want to interrupt his family. So what your grandfather did was told me to just basically stay out of the way. He was going to take care of him, but stay out of the way, basically. Wow. And so what he did, so basically that, just imagine we had that uncle living right there with everybody else, but it was unbeknownst to everybody else until it leaked out in the town, small town, country town, right? So to this day, that uncle is in New York. So we looked him up. I realized I had a cousin same age as me, and we looked him up, but he never did really respond much. Only the cousin. The cousin came to one of our functions. We got information like that, but the father, the uncle, he to this day he just stayed his distance because he felt hurt that he was ignored. Yeah. But the point I'm making is, you see what I mean when I say, by all intents and purposes, my grandmother was happy wife, happy life. But Papa was a Rolling Stone. But anyway, so yeah, he was doing him. Yeah, he was doing him. All right, Bruce, what's going on, Bruce, sir? Come on, add some value here.
Well, I have my men's group at 7.
Okay, I know you got to jump.
And usually around that time is when y'all get into the raw conversation.
Yeah.
But since I don't have that time to be that nice, I kind of want to stir it up a little bit.
Come on.
Adam said, oh, Lord. I feel, brothers, that too many of us as men, we quote unquote care too much and put too much energy into what a woman thinks. I think everything that she thinks, I know this may be a little rough, excuse me, but correct me. If every little thing she thinks or feels, many of us as men feel as though we need to satisfy or prove or disprove.
Okay.
On the other hand, many women, because they are emotional, they think one thing 1 minute and think another thing the next minute.
Okay.
So how does it benefit us for us to have the energy to make the happy wife, happy life experience a reality? How does it benefit us?
Wow.
That's a long question.
Yeah, go ahead, Adam.
No, go ahead, Charles. Go ahead, Charles.
I guess, if we look at it the way it's phrased, Bruce, I feel like the way it's supposed to benefit us is if we cross our T's, dot our I's, and make sure everything concerning them is kept, we'll have a better life. It's implied that if you do right by me, in fact, I spoke to a mother last night, like a mother-like figure last night. And I asked her this question, and her response was, even in her being groggy and half sleep, she said, oh, yeah. I feel like, she said, I feel like it is, she said, a man doing that sets the foundation. And what she was trying to say was, if he sows into me, I will in turn, the house gets blessed. In so many words is what she didn't say those words, but that's what I took from what she was trying to say. But, but then when I talked to the husband, you could tell Adam, he was tap dancing. He was very careful. He was like, well, he said he was that one. Yeah, he was being very careful because he didn't want to probably say what he would have said out in the street to me. His wife was right there, so he figured they 80 years old, she's 70 something. Let's keep it peaceful at this point, right? Let's leave it at that. Wow, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah. So yeah, again, Charles, you have really stepped in it this week. My hat is off to you, sir. I don't know how you set this on fire, but you did. You did. So let me read this comment from Marlena. She says, in true concept of the topic at hand, everyone has a different perspective of happiness. In the truest sense of happiness, two mates that aren't selfish or have malicious intent will love wholeheartedly. True. When the man and woman love one another correctly, the wife will be happy, and return, they both will be happy. She's not wrong in that. So here's what I'm coming up with in terms of having this conversation. I feel like for some of us brothers that there is a sense of intrepidation and apprehension from making as Marlena put it, a wholehearted investment
that's good.
Into our marriage, in our relationship, which means I'm not going to be as free as I want to be, because there's a fear that if I put it all in, that I'm not going to get back what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm getting? Is that what I'm
Absolutely. Kind of? It's like the way Bruce phrased it is pretty. In other words, the concern for men could be, if we are emptying our repository, what is the reciprocation cycle looking like? What is our ROI for doing so? That's basically what he's trying to do.
Okay. So let's be clear, and I don't want there to be any kind of ambiguity in regards to this. I think it's important that when we're talking about getting into a marriage with a wife, you absolutely have to be clear as to what you're looking for. I think a lot of us walk into marriages with the assumption and the supposition of. We really haven't been explicit. We haven't been specific in terms of what we're actually looking for. And so when we get in and we get what we get, and we're going like, well, what is this? You weren't specific. And this holds true for the women as well. Yeah. You're expecting your husband to do a certain thing. You're looking for him to do a certain thing. But at what point in time were you ever actually specific in terms of what you were looking for? And here's the thing. I think for some of us, we operate out of a place of just, I'm afraid to say what I really want.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can't live in a relationship like that. A relationship will die on the vine if you're operating in a place of, I'm afraid to say what I want. Because if you're afraid to say what you want, you'll never get it. You absolutely will not receive what you're looking for, because you've never said out of your mouth, this is what I'm looking for. For example, if your wife asked you, okay, do you want breakfast every morning? Do you want to come into my place and ask me for breakfast? Sure, I will take that. But that's a specific request. How is it that we assume that our partners know what we want? And I've said this before. How do we think that they're going to know what we want when we've never opened up our mouths to say what it is, what we want? And you're operating under the guise of an assumption that you've never given voice to. And now you're walking around disappointed because your expectations have not been met. When are you going to man up, women? When are you going to woman up and actually say, "This is what I want from my husband. This is what I want from my wife"?
So, what do you do in a scenario like this? I don't know if anyone's probably. I'm sure married couples or even cohabitating couples have experienced this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Someone comes in there, maybe the other party isn't home, and they're like, "It is too cold." They put that thing on 78, 80. Okay. The other person comes on. What is going on? It is too hot in here. They got an attitude. Don't touch my thermostat. Then they go to turn it back to 68. It's freezing. So the person expressed themselves, but they got a reaction that doesn't work. Okay. So my point is there's communication, but the response don't work because we're misaligning in temperatures.
So you're not okay. So here's the thing. You're going to the thermostat. Just to continue your example, you're going to the thermostat and you're changing the temperature.
Yeah.
And you might be even saying out loud, even to the person, "Okay, why are we changing this? I want it here. I want it there." But nobody's trying to solve whatever the issue is, because at some point you're not going to be able to get all you want, and I'm not going to be able to get all I want. We got to compromise somewhere along the line. Somewhere along the line, I'm going to have to give up something, and you're going to have to give up something. You know, the art of a true compromise is when both parties are not happy.
Wow.
Because I've given up something and you've given up something.
Yeah.
Now, this is all in the effort to bring satisfaction and joy to the relationship, but that doesn't mean every single day that I'm going to be like, "Oh, yay, we're together." You know what I'm saying?
You might. You just might.
That's not reality. And watch my wife come home and say, "Oh, so you're not happy now?" I know.
In a minute.
The reality is we have to be willing. There has to be a willingness in this. And I find so true in so many relationships that we walk in just not willing. We're unwilling. We're unyielding. We're not flexible. We're not versatile in terms of dealing with everyday relationship marriage issues. We want it our way. Nobody wants to give up their way.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And it can't be that way. It can't. Your relationship will not survive if it's just done your way.
Wow.
What are you willing to give up to make this thing work? How far are you willing to go to make this thing work? Because here's the truth of the matter, everybody, and I know y'all don't want to hear this. Often in real relationships that really work, both of us are going to be uncomfortable at some point in time.
Wow.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Both of us are going to be uncomfortable at some point in time. Can you handle that?
Yeah.
Are you ready to deal with that? And that's coming from a person who's married.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not comfortable. Sometimes she's not comfortable. But does that mean is that a dissolution of the marriage? No, it just means we're growing. It means we got some maturing to do. That means we got to go up a little higher than where we were before. Yeah. It's okay to be uncomfortable in your relationship.
You gotta have a balanced mind to see it that way, because we live in the era of you can have people that may have been 5 and 10 years in, but in 2024, they're going to say, I'm telling you, Bruce, I promise you, I just ain't got it in me. I ain't signed up for this. I'm going to go ahead. I can't do no much more of this, because we all know, Bruce, Adam, people feel as though there is no excuse for not getting what I need today because there's so much supply around me. And if I can't get it from you, I know where to get it. And I believe this is one of the biggest reasons there's so much tension in the house, because that person, it's almost like the person is giving you an extension of credit to do what you need to do by them. And if you don't, you get repossessed. Wow. That's the kind of the concept. It's like, I'm going to give you this rope to see if you're going to be all things that I think, like you said, that I think you should be doing for me. Right. Emotionally, physically, intimately, whatever. And if there's going to be some falling short or some lacking, then guess what? You know what? We're going to have a talk, because life is too short. That's the famous thing we got going on. So yeah.
You know, a lot of that comes from what I deemed as PRPs.
Ooh.
A lot of when they say I should get what I need,
Yeah.
a lot of their need templates come from what I call PRPs, past relationship programs.
Oh,
Wow.
So I don't
good.
hold your hand like Charles
That's
used to
good.
hold your hand.
right.
We got a hashtag.
I don't hold you tight like Adam. I don't pray with you like Adam used to pray with you.
Ooh. That's good. That's
So
good, Bruce.
Okay.
that becomes a problem. So does your current way of thinking come from the desires of your heart or from your past relationship programs, especially around our age?
Ooh.
That's true. But you know what, Bruce? Even to that point, you can reprogram the code.
Come on.
I think that's part of the issue is that there is again there's an unwillingness or unyieldedness to want to reprogram what you've been programmed for. You can reprogram that. Here we go. Watch this. Y'all gonna watch. I'm gonna throw a Bible study up in here real quick. Romans chapter number 12, verses number 1 and 2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be you what transformed by the renewing of your mind, which means you got to change your psychological thinking.
Yeah.
You got to change the way you're approaching this relationship. Your relationship with this person is not going to be the way it was with the person that you were with before. And if you're walking in, watch this, if you're walking into that new relationship with the past assumption and supposition, then yeah, it's going to be jacked up because they're not going to pray with you like I prayed with you. They're not going to take you out like Charles took you out. They're going to be who they are. So why would you expect this new person to do the things that your old person used to do?
Because we set the bars of what we feel is our quality metrics based on the last person. This person used to do, I'm used to this. Oh, let me tell you something. I'm not used to that because my ex-person, I didn't have to worry about nothing. He took care of everything. Well, he ain't here.
Right.
So, but we don't look at it like that. We base all of our we basically get puffed up to a certain degree because of the years of how we were treated by certain individuals, whether high level or street, what have you. We have these thoughts of I'm used to a certain thing. So when you introduce decoding, that takes skill and it takes willingness from the other person, because not everybody gonna let you operate on them.
Yeah,
they gonna, you can say it, but they're gonna be like, whatever, ain't nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with you.
Well, you know what? It's not so much me trying to reprogram you. It's you who needs to do the reprogramming. And I think again, that's where we kind of made the mistake at in terms of making our spouses happy. That I have to be the one to do it. No. The reality is, if you weren't happy before I met you, what makes you think I can make you happy? Your happiness does not come from me. Your happiness ought to come from you. I'm hoping. Because if you don't have happiness before I met you, God knows I'm not going to make you any more happier.
What you think, Bruce?
I think Adam just made the $1 million statement.
Yeah.
But in my soon-to-be 56 years on this planet, I haven't ran across too many people, males or females, that really know what makes them happy.
Wow.
Real talk.
They don't have their own personal template to say, hey, this makes me happy.
Right.
It's always a compilation of what this person did or what this person didn't do, or this happened to me, or that did not happen for me.
Yeah.
And that becomes their template.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good.
You know what? That's so interesting that you would mention that, Bruce, because a lot of us don't know what makes us happy, and so here again comes the notion that happy wife, happy life, but the wife doesn't really know what makes her happy. The spouse doesn't really know what makes them happy because they haven't found that thing yet. That thing hasn't really happened to them yet. And the reality is, again, if you're looking for someone to make you happy, that's not truth either. that's not going to set you free at all. You know what I'm saying? The reality is that you are at some level, at some point in time in your life, you're going to have to find happiness within yourself. And if you know what I know, Jesus is my happiness all day and all night, twice on Sunday. Somebody, hello.
Maria, did you hear that, Maria? Anyway, so yeah, man. He said Jesus. He put Jesus before you, Maria. Remember that, okay? No, I'm teasing, man. But no,
like, all right. Maria's like, all right, Adam, you're gonna be calling on Jesus tonight.
Right. Okay, and then Maria.
No, but no, it's just like, I guess we have to have those conversations, but I'm gonna be honest. People just don't arrive at the notion of happy life just in marriage. It starts in relationship, right? You got to have those conversations, but that mindset, it just adopts over when the marriage happens. But it's already there. And so a lot of times, that's why you can talk to a single woman and a married woman and ask them what's important. And both of them are going to say probably first, security.
Okay.
They're going to say, I want the man to make me feel secure. And that peels back to be like, okay, so does he keep me emotionally secure? How does his money look? Am I financially secure? And all of those things add to that security. So most women will say that first, either status that they have. And then they start peeling the layers back, depending on everybody's needs are different. So everybody sees certain things. Some women are keen on the dollar bill. They're not going to get too far about conversations if that money ain't right, Bruce. Some women are keen on sex. And if they're going to be pleased, that's just real talk. And then you have the religious sector. Some women like that he needs to be a man of God and all of these things, still not understanding that even a man of God is a man before of God happens. So he still has man tendencies, right? So, he's not perfect. She's not perfect. But these are the things that we run across. So we got to have those real conversations to say, hey, my goal in being with you and going to the next level and being in marriage or whatever the case with you is I want to love on you correctly. I want to do the best by you. Yeah. But how do you sum up your contentment? That's a question to ask people. What does your contentment ultimately look like so that I can know what I'm signing up for? Because I can think all day that I'm gonna get these roses. Let me go and buy her these shoes and take her on this trip or do this and this in the bedroom. And those things may not even matter to her.
That's true.
But I'm thinking it. So that's why you need to have that conversation to say, hey, honestly, what are the things that bring you fulfillment and contentment? Yeah. Start there and then ask him the same question and see where you land. Go ahead, Bruce. Yeah.
I feel as though another thing that we need to add is that people need to really get to a place where we reconcile our life thus far.
Okay.
We 56 now, Charles, you know what I'm saying? So we go back. Go back through the 40s and through the 30s.
Yeah.
And with the successes and the failures, are we okay?
Right.
Are we okay with it?
Yeah.
And
do we have peace with God?
Yeah.
Do we have an understanding of God?
Mm-hmm.
And do we have peace with man?
Mm-hmm.
Are we okay with the course that our life has taken? If not, you might look for somebody to save you.
Wow.
Wow.
You might be looking for a captain, save them.
Wow.
Or a female to come and save you and make your life right because of all of the choices that I made that didn't turn out right.
Wow.
Yeah, and that happens. Yeah, in most cases it happens.
Yeah. I think to Bruce's point, it's important that I think part of that reconciliation, Bruce, of course, it starts with us. For me to look for someone else to come and try to adjust my books or pay my bills, and I'm not, when I talk about paying my bills, I'm not talking about money. I'm just talking about the things that I've done in my life that I still owe on, that I still need to pay on, issues that have not been addressed. I really do believe that. Again, I'm a believer in doing the work on me.
Correct.
I cannot expect anybody else to do what I can only do for myself. I've got to make sure that this is taken care of. And the reality is that I can't even think about a happy wife and a happy life until I get me together. That there is some joy in me, that there is some happiness in me, that there is some satisfaction within myself, that I have gone down the line and I've reconciled all of these things, my achievements, my failures, my issues, my strengths, my deficiencies, that I've gone down the line, that I've taken a self-inventory of myself and said, okay, you know what? I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
You know, here's a good point, and y'all and ladies, and both of y'all can kind of throw in on this. But I've observed down through the years that it really takes, on the point that Bruce made, it takes a special woman and it takes a special man to sort of onboard someone who they know is coming with unreconciled issues, right? Because the reason, think about this. How many times have you heard a man, let's just say a man, he's getting with a woman, and maybe he got some issues, whether it's credit, maybe he on child support. You know, the first thing women will say, well, girl, did you check on him? Because listen, I heard that child support, it can take your money too. I don't know about all that, make sure. But on the female side of the house, whatever she brings, debt, whatever, then all of a sudden, well, you the man, you supposed to take care of everything.
Oh, God.
So it immediately becomes an accepted. It's like an expected acceptance. But the men want to feel like, look, if we really, really, really are coming together and we say that we want to do this, then that means we have that talk and we absorb the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not just what fits one party or the other.
Yeah.
That's how we got to look at it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's important that again, like you said, Charles, that conversation it has taken place. Because again, you know, if particularly when it comes to finances, if we're bringing a lot of debt and bad credit, you got a credit score of 250, you know, and you owe everybody, you know what I'm saying? Then I would hesitate. I would be apprehensive. We need to figure out some stuff with your bills and your stuff, because that's a real thing. I don't think it's
a real thing.
I don't think that we should not talk about that. You know what I'm saying? That you know, if you're owing child support, then why are you not paying child support? What's the problem? You know, and that goes both sides. You know what I'm saying? Because that speaks to who you are as a person. And I think a lot of times we kind of neglect that part of the finances, that if I'm a person that doesn't pay my bills, I'm a person that doesn't want to pay my child support, I'm a person that kind of runs from whatever financial issues I have, that really does speak a lot about who a person actually is, more than what they actually say out of their own mouths. And that's something that we absolutely need to pay attention to.
And Tamara Mason brought up a good point. She says, why get with someone if you know you have work to do on you? I'm going to tell you why. Nobody wants to be alone. And let's just be honest. That sounds good, but we don't take the time to do nothing. We look at our stuff and we look at how lonely we are, and we still go out to the bars. We go to the churches. We go to wherever somebody got a day function. Oh, you having a party, a wedding, I'm going. We go everywhere hoping to make a connection in our broken states.
Wow.
We just do it. Rarely are you going to see mature people say, you know what, my future husband or wife don't deserve all of that. I'm going to take me 3 years, however long it takes to get my situation in order and pay my bills down to zero balance. We don't do that. We go and we bring our suitcase full of foolishness over to the new house. That's what we do. Yeah.
And here's the thing, Charles. We hope We hope and pray that the person that we're with, that we brought our baggage with, we hope and pray that they are patient and understanding enough to allow us to work through our issues. And here's the thing, Bruce, all of us do it.
Yeah.
We all do it. And then the reality is, you know, it would be nice, Charles, if I just went off into a cave somewhere and started working on me.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. We want somebody who understands us, who gets us, who can accept us with all of our faults and failures and be like, okay, I'm a work in progress. He working on me still.
So this is what we have to understand, though. I can promise you 9 times, I'm not saying all the time, because there is some ratchet opposites of sex, but nonetheless, 9 times out of 10, more men come to the table as the deficit than women. Most of the time, men will show up today. The woman got her house, she got her car, she has her credit good, she's in a good place. She may want you and need you, but she's good on her own, right? So that means the men are coming like, you know, babe, I'm trying to work this out and all these things. And so there has to be a conversation, because this is a reality of how things are. It's not a lot of people that's coming to the table with perfect scenarios, or they probably wouldn't be available. They would probably be already taken and married to somebody else.
Right.
You know, and so we gotta be able to just be a little understanding, you know, have those kind of be the way you would want someone to look at you and judge you. You don't want to be judged and kicked to the side. You want to feel like someone takes a chance on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. No, nobody, like you said, nobody wants to be alone. You know what I'm saying? And again, I think that it speaks to us as human beings that if I can get with somebody who has whatever issues, because here's the thing though, when we both walk into the relationship, both of us have baggage.
Yeah.
Both of us have skeletons in the closet. Both of us have stuff we need to work on. It's a matter of whether or not both of us have enough grace and capacity to deal with each other.
Now, I have something really quick to say. I know we got to get ready to go, Bruce. Let me tell a quick story. Y'all made me think of something now.
Story time, Adam.
I remember I was probably just popping over to my 30s. I remember dating this, on this similar subject right here. I was dating this girl. This is back in the day, Bruce. The girl lived in Rockville. You know, Rockville is kind of bougie area. So she had this money. She worked in the government, all these kind of things. I'm like, okay, we dating. She used to always, this is how off we have a perception of how we should divulge information. Okay. She was so concerned about, she kept asking me, so how's your credit? So she was digging and digging and digging. I was like, golly. So I said, yeah, I'm working on this and I'm doing this. You know, I'm trying to be honest with her. Do you know, 6 months into the case, into the dealing with the person, here I am all super conscious as to the things she's been asking me to make sure, because it was kind of like a serious thing. I'm trying to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's so that I come correct. Right. This woman, now I hope she doesn't ever see this video. But anyway, Bruce, listen. I remember one day we were going out to dinner. We were going to Georgetown. I'm going to go get the person that she must have forgot. She said, you could park and come up. The door is open. I said, okay. So I'm going upstairs to go up into her place. I looked. Soon as I opened the door, something said, boom. I was like, she slammed the door real fast, but not the front door, but the bathroom. You know why? When I came in the house, and I'm not even, this isn't a funny laughing matter, but it's probably funny in the moment, but it's not funny. She was bald-headed. She had cancer, and she divulged it. But she was on me about my situation. I'm not even being funny. It's a sensitive situation, but she was asking me all of make me feel bad. I'm like, I need to do that. Have me feeling all these ways. And you can't tell me the single most important thing.
But
she was worried about how correct I came to her.
Right.
And
right.
What good is all of your credit and all of your job if you're not here with me?
Wow.
So that's when it opened to my mind that we get life twisted.
Yeah.
We worry about all these stats and all this stuff. When at the end of the day, does that matter if you can't even be honest with me when you're trying to pull all this stuff out of me and you can't even be honest with me?
Yeah.
So that was pretty deep, man. I never forgot that.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy that she wouldn't. She was trying to investigate you, but like you said, wasn't willing to disclose
her situation.
And I understand the sensitivity of it.
Too,
it was her health we're talking about.
Yeah.
But not to disclose that.
And that was the most awkward. We ended up ordering in. We didn't even make it to dinner because it was so awkward when she came out. Here's the thing. I saw her with her hair off. She slammed the door. Then when she came out, the hair was on. You know, I said to her, we can have this conversation, but you may as well take it off.
Right.
And let's just have the conversation. Let's stop playing the games. And then you can put it on later. Let's just deal with it and talk about it right now. So she went through this whole tears and apologizing. And I was just like, I'm not that kind of person that I would have even judged you about it.
Right.
But I said, but do you understand how you made me feel all this time? Like by the way you were kind of just needling. I was like, God, am I trying to work for the White House? I was like, I'm doing a background check with this situation. I'm like, man. Man. We get it twisted.
That's crazy, yo.
Yeah. Man. Bruce, man, we appreciate you. Man, you got anything to say, man, before you you gotta get to your thing.
I wanted to say that Will Smith, through his wife, a lavish 40th birthday party. He spent $1 million. He invited all the stars and celebrities from all over the world. He had dancers and singers and all of this because he wanted her to have a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And she looked at him and she said, you were doing all of this for your own ego. He said, none of this was for me.
Wow.
I don't care if I was doing it for my ego. If I spent $1 million for your party, you better act like you like it. You want to psychoanalyze me? I just spent $1 million on your party.
That's deep and true. Real true. Yeah.
A person has to find, like Adam said, you have to have that happiness within yourself.
That's it.
Real talk.
And hopefully, when it comes to marriage, you will reconcile that happiness within yourself before you get married.
Yeah.
Because as time goes on in the marriage, it's going to come out that you're not happy.
Yeah.
For sure.
And no matter what that man does to make you the happy wife, it's not going to be satisfying because you don't even like him.
Wow.
That's all I got.
You got something to say, Adam, before we wrap up?
That was good right there. I'm good, bro.
Yeah. Hey, we appreciate everybody for tuning in this week to another episode of Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio, where we talked about the plight of the happy wife, happy life. Is it a one-sided ordeal? Whatever side it is, we should just go for happy spouses.
That's right.
Happy house. Let's work towards serving each other. Yeah. You can never go wrong serving each other, even if you both call yourself doing too much. I would rather have an abundance of too much than a lack of anything. Yeah. So I think that's what we should shoot for, and and just go from there and try to be better individuals, and let's not let the social constructing and the engineering of this world to make us feel like siloed love is the best love. If I need you and you need me, it can't be. I can't feed it all to you while I starve.
Right.
This ain't gonna work. All right. Anyway, appreciate y'all, and we'll see. Oh well, I might have to act up in a few minutes. We'll see.
I already know.
All right. So, all right. Happy wife, happy life. Hey, Maria, what you think, Maria? No, but anyway, so
no. See, don't do that.
No, I'm teasing, but no,
because you know they're gonna ask when you get married. You know that's what they're gonna ask.
Right. Hey, yeah, man. Well, listen, let me tell you something. All the practice and studying I've been doing with all of this, I'm gonna have some real conversations, and then you're gonna be on social media, on Instagram, like, yeah. All right, no, anyway. they're gonna be dancing like they're doing a pop.
Right.
No, but no, it's gonna be. Listen, I just feel like, I mean, of course, like the woman is the apple of the man's eye. Yeah. So absolutely, you want to make sure your person is content and good. We don't have any arguments there. Right. I can't make it clear enough that it is equally important that man gets deposited into. Yeah. Nothing runs infinitely off of no fuel. Cars run out of gas. Your AC runs out of Freon. Your tires will even deflate on their own over time. So you got to have a regimen in place that siphons a reciprocal pattern between the two of you for a healthy interaction. Yeah.
I mean, it is so absolutely imperative that as spouses, we are attentive to them and that we give them what they need from us. Yeah. And again, like I said from the beginning, to focus just on the happiness of one spouse in the marriage is a complete imbalance, because it can't be just about them. It's got to be about all of us. It's got to be about, in terms of all of us being happy, all of us being satisfied. Because if she's the only one that's satisfied and I'm not satisfied, then this marriage is going to erode. It's going to erode. That's the truth of the matter. So it's got to be both of us on both ends. I'm making her happy, she's making me happy, and we both happy together.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow. Good stuff. Appreciate y'all. Much love. Until we meet again. God bless.
Peace.